Hello, daydreamers, and welcome back to another episode of Daydreaming in the Garden. Thank you so much for being here today as we break down another hard to swallow topic, not only because it supports my channel, but because it is supporting you and your healing journey. Thank you so much for choosing you and choosing to put you, your mental health, and emotional well-being first. And most of all, thank you for choosing me to take the journey with you because it is truly an honor. For those of you who just so happen to wander up on my channel while strolling your favorite app, let me introduce myself and explain what this beautiful community and I come together and do. My name is Pork Chop. I am a trauma survivor. Even though the internet refers to me as a mental health or wellness creator, I prefer a healing advocate because throughout my years on this earth, I have encountered unimaginable tales of tears and triumph. And as I come out of survival mode and into my healing journey, I realize that life can be tough and healing can be scary and an uncomfortable journey that shouldn't be taken alone. Daydreaming in the Garden is a safe space dedicated to healing and self-love. I know many of us have heard the old tall tale of what happens in this house stays in this house, but here at Daydreaming in the Garden, what happens in this house will be told. So here's where we go through those houses and unpack those dusty, overstuffed closets and talk about life's trauma, how it shapes us mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. We lift up those rugs that seem to have everything swept under them and open up the windows in to let in air. This is a safe space for healing, self-discovery, and peace. And again, thank you so much for being here as we grow one video, one revelation, and one daydream at a time. Now, on today's episode, as you can tell by my thumbnail, we are talking about being the bad guy. We are talking about the villain era and how when people do not like your boundaries, they will show you exactly why you set those boundaries. We're going to also break down character and accountability. Those are the words of the day for this video because it seems that though a character and accountability go hand in hand with the villain era, all because it seems as though that a lot of the times people misconstrue what accountability actually means. So we're going to break that down in order to take some pressure off of you when people try to come to you and tell you it's your fault that you were treated the way you were treated. That's not your fault. That's their character. That's them not taking accountability and also their true character. And we're going to also break down character because it goes hand in hand with accountability. So let's get to it. You ever notice how the second you start setting boundaries, standing up for yourself, you magically become the villain in someone else's story? The moment you set a boundary, prioritize your peace, or refuse to tolerate disrespect, suddenly you're selfish, cold, or acting different. You become the narcissist or the abuser in the situation. But here's the thing. That's okay. Like, we really have to remember that, like, people are delusional. So let's define what a villain era is and what it isn't. It isn't about being reckless, heartless, or intentionally hurting people. I have to put that in there because, like, y'all know I have to be specific with y'all. Because for a minute there, I thought villain era meant we could just go around breaking hearts. No. It's about unapologetically choosing you after years, maybe even a lifetime of putting everyone else first. Nibbler is over there tripping today. Y'all hear him? It's about protecting your peace, enforcing your standards, and no longer being a people pleaser at the expense of your own well-being. For some reason, society has conditioned us to believe that being good or unconditional love, which I'm actually going to do a video on, so make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting that notification button so you can get the most recent updates when I do upload my videos, because unconditional love and being a good person doesn't mean being accommodating or agreeable at all times and being endlessly forgiving. That is not unconditional love, and that is not being a good person. But the moment you stop tolerating things that drain you, people will call you the villain. And that's because they are no longer benefiting from your boundaries. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. And social media has made it to where everyone can have like direct access to you at any point in time. And that goes into another subject that I want to talk about on another day about how much direct communication is too much in any shape, form, or fashion, in any dynamic. It is okay to not want to talk to people sometimes. That's a whole different subject. I'm going off script. What I'm saying is direct access to you is not, you don't, it's cars driving by, y'all, and he tripping. Stop. Do y'all see how he acting? Do you need to go to your room? Everyone doesn't deserve direct access to you. Some bridges deserve to be burned. Some connections only existed because you were willing to abandon yourself to maintain them. It's really okay to burn bridges, y'all, because not every bridge is worth keeping. And I learned that out the other day. I found that out. Some were built on manipulation, guilt, obligation, abuse, and not on mutual respect. Some were actually built on fear. And when you realize that, you also realize that walking away really isn't the problem. It's staying in places that no longer serve you, which is the actual issue here. It's okay to burn bridges that leads back to disrespect. It's okay to burn that bridge that only required you to put in effort and they didn't do anything, any changing, any nothing. It's okay to burn the bridge with the people who only liked you when you were easy to control. People will say you changed, and they're right. You did. You had to. You're no longer the version of yourself that tolerated being used, disrespected, manipulated, or abused. And that's necessary for growth. Because we have to take accountability for our own actions, right? And that leads me to this. Let's talk about accountability, because this is where people love to twist the narrative, especially abusers. Accountability means taking responsibility for your own actions, your own choices, and your behavior as a human being. It means acknowledging when you've done wrong and making the necessary changes to do right. And if we are talking to someone and we're talking about taking accountability for past shit, you cannot take accountability for how someone else acts. Accountability does not mean taking responsibility for others, or how they act to certain situations, to how they act to your boundaries, to how they act in a physical sense. If y'all go out and y'all get ice cream and they go off of the hinges because they didn't have butter pecan, that is their character. You can't blame that on the ice cream shop. No. They didn't have butter pecan. That's why I went off like I went off. Not because I'm irate, aggressive, and emotionally unstable. You are not accountable for how people treat you or how people react. Their actions are a direct reflection of their character, not yours. Which brings me to my next point. Character. What their reactions are really saying. Character is who you are at your core. It is your values, your integrity, how you treat people when there's nothing to gain. And if someone responds to you or your boundaries with anger, manipulation, or smear campaigns, kind of says everything about them and nothing about you, right? Kind of says they're emotionally unstable and unhinged, correct? With character will respect your boundaries even if they don't like them. A person with poor character will try to punish you for enforcing them. They will try to get anybody that they can to rally against you, and they'll get the troops together and try to tell anybody that'll listen that you are the bad guy. And do people ever wonder why people that get that emotionally unhinged do that? It's because they need someone to agree with them because they know they're wrong. And so they need someone to give them confirmation as to why they're in the right. Especially if you won't take accountability for their actions. Delusional. Like, think about it. A healthy, self-aware person won't be upset because you're choosing peace. They won't react with rage because you chose peace. You won't. Or because you won't let them mistreat you. But an abuser, a manipulator, woo! I'm sorry, my voice got high there. But someone who benefited from your lack of self-worth, they will. They'll call you names, guilt trip you, and try to paint you out to be the villain. They'll even, like I said, rally troops, all to avoid accountability for their actions. Remember, we were just talking about accountability, weren't we? And that's why embracing your villain era is necessary, not because you're actually the villain, but because you refuse to keep playing the role for the people-pleasing hero in someone else's twisted, wicked story. Becoming the villain is absolutely necessary sometimes if it means you have to stand firm on your boundaries and cutting off toxic people and refusing to be a doormat. If that makes you a villain, be the villain. Be the anti-hero here or something. Because being the nice guy only benefits from those who take advantage of you. People will weaponize your kindness if you let them. They will guilt you into overextending yourself while doing the bare minimum in return, and they will expect you to be the bigger person while they continue to disrespect and mistreat you. And if you allow it, they will continue to do it. One thing I've learned, and this is what actually made me leave the abusive relationship that I was in a while back, is because I came to a conclusion one night that this was going to be a never-ending cycle of love bombing, gaslighting, manipulation, abuse, lies, and lust. Like, abuse never ends with some people because abusers don't heal. They don't see anything wrong with their actions. That's why being the villain is necessary. It's a season of choosing yourself without explanation, of walking away without guilt, of refusing to explain your worth to people who should have recognized it from the start. If you are noticing that I bagged up my screen a little bit so y'all could get the full outlay of my garden, I also added a little pops of color, and one of my favorite pieces that I added yesterday actually was this hydrangea. This hydrangea is, hydrangeas are my great grandmother's favorite plant, and hydrangeas are just pretty plants to me. I like them. They look like pom-poms. I really haven't gotten into like the spiritual meaning of them and stuff, because there's a spiritual meaning in everything if you're one of those people. And I'm saying that to say that there was a time back when I was younger, I used to always hear my grandma say, why would you give someone who betrayed you another chance to betray you again? And I never understood what that meant until the other day. If someone has always done you wrong, what would make us think that they are going to finally do right this time? People can change, but if you see that these folks don't see anything wrong with their actions, they're not going to change because they see nothing wrong. If your leg not broken, why would you go get a cast on it? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where you have to realize that that's just what it is. Because at the end of the day, you're not actually the villain. You're just someone who finally chose themselves. And people who truly respect you will never see you as the bad guy for protecting your peace. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them be mad. Their perception of you is not your responsibility. And it actually doesn't matter, because why would we care what an abuser thinks, right? Why would we care what a loser thinks? Stay focused on your healing, your growth, and your peace, because that's what really matters. And I'm going to leave today with a poem and a quote. The poem is something that I wrote myself. I found out through my healing journey that I really do like making poetry. So I'm going to start embracing that as well again, and you will get a bit of poetry throughout every episode now. If you don't like it, you can skip through it. If you like it, you can let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do it again, and I'm actually debating on if I want to do shorts for my poems. So if that's a thing, let me know in the comments as well. I'm down. The title of the poem is called Villain Era. They called me selfish when I said no, cold when I chose to let them go, a villain because I walked away, refused to beg, refused to say. I set my boundaries, I built my peace, and suddenly I'm the enemy? Not because I did them wrong, but because I stopped apologizing for being strong. Let them whisper, let them twist, let them drown in their own mess. I won't shrink, I won't explain. A villain, fine. I'll wear that name. And the quote for the day is, you either die the superhero or live long enough to become the villain. I want to thank you for being here today so much. I want to thank you for choosing you, for putting yourself first, for making sure that you are following your journey however you need to follow it. Let's always remember a healing journey is not a one-size-fits-all. And healing is an everyday battle. It's no different than sobriety. It's something that you get up every day and you choose to do. So let's always make sure that we're choosing that and we're choosing to heal. Let's always be the positivity, love, and light in the room, even in our villain era. Let's not choose to be out here hurt so we go to hurt other people. Broken people break people. We are trying to heal, not break. So with all that, let's remember that being in your villain era is not about actually going out and intentionally being a bad guy. It is about setting boundaries and protecting your peace. Let's also remember that being in your villain era is not about trying to seek revenge. It is about setting boundaries and being in your peace. It is about healing from that hurt so you don't need to go get revenge. I come to you today thanking you for being here, thanking you for loving me and letting me love you. I have a lot going on in the terms of things that I'm rolling out here lately. As I said earlier, like I said, I do like poetry. That is something that I used to do back in the day when in my younger days. And I also like writing. I am a self-publisher. No, it's not on Amazon. I didn't get that fancy with it. I actually just went to Office Depot and printed them suckers out and put them in a folder and was selling them. It was rough. It was raw self-publishing at its finest. It was a dream, and it's still a dream that I am working on currently. I am in the midst of my autobiography, and I actually have a children's book series that I'm rolling out about body-wise safety and boundaries as children. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be putting out tidbits for that. I also have 2 guest appearances coming up within the next month, and I'm super excited about that. We have a holistic doctor, Miss Dr. Lizzie. I'm excited to talk to her about the holistic ways of healing. And then we have actually a member of my team. Her name is Miss Candia Shelton, and she will be coming on and sharing her story of trial and triumph with me as well. And this is also, like I said, a part of my team. I actually met her through my virality on Facebook, and she is a breath of fresh air in such a cold, hard world. So I am super excited to talk with her as well. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing. If you'd like, go in the comments, leave what topics you would like me to do, or any stories that you see that you would like me to do a commentator video on, because I'm actually about to get into commentating. I found a couple of YouTube creators that I would like to do commentators on. And if y'all see these folks when I do the videos and y'all know them personally, I would love to interview these people personally. One of them is a Harvard psychologist graduate that is in the field of medicine as well, because he feels as though the mind and the body is of two. And I really like that. So I am doing a video on that as well. Make sure, like I said, you're liking and subscribing, because we have a lot of things coming out this summer, and I'm really excited to get into this with you guys. We are almost at 70 subscribers. Yeah, I'm excited for us, and I love every 71 of y'all. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's keep it going. Share my videos to anyone that you feel as though is in need of these videos, because that's what we are here for, to build a community, guys. And if you haven't and you have Facebook, go find my group, Daydreaming in the Garden. Subscribe to my channel on Facebook, and you will get unlimited access to my actual private community, where we actually vet these people very well, their pages very well, to make sure that this is a safe community and not just trolls trying to get in. We are here to build a foundation of love, peace, healing, and happiness within this journey. And I am excited with how everything is organically coming together. I am excited that you are here, and I am excited to see where everything goes. Thank you so much for being here.